In the House? Thank you. Honorable CS, welcome back to the Senate. We have listed 4 questions that are directed to your ministry. I will therefore proceed to invite the Senator for Kitui, the Honorable Enoch Wambua, to ask question number 034. Clerk, please do the timing.
I thank you, the Speaker. Given that we have 22 minutes for this one, I will spare the CS a few things that I wanted to say. Let me just go straight to the question. Question number 034. One CS, what is the current status of pension disbursements to former members of Parliament who served between 1979 and 1992? B, has the National Treasury undertaken any review or adjustment of these pensions to ensure they remain fair and sustainable, considering the rising cost of living and inflation over the years? And lastly, what policy measures has the government put in place to ensure pensions align with prevailing economic conditions? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond, bearing in mind that we have received a copy of your response, and therefore, if you may paraphrase, we are necessary to save on time. Proceed, Honorable CS.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. In the interest of time, I'll try my level best to paraphrase and summarize my response without losing content. Now, I rise to address a question that was raised by Senator Enoch Wambua that is question number 034. Regarding pension disbursement to former members of Parliament who served between 1979 and 1992. The current status is as follows. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, former members of Parliament who served between 1979 and 1992 were eligible for pension benefits have been receiving payments in line with the Parliamentary Pensions Act, Cap 196, as revised in 2012. And this revision significantly enhanced their pension entitlements by adjusting the actuarial factor from 1/600 to 1/300. Effectively, this doubled their pension benefits. And as a result, these former members of Parliament received a revised pension lump sum and an adjusted monthly pension following the implementation of this Section 8.2 of the Cap 196, revised in 2012. But there are also further efforts to review the pensions which have been guided by the recommendations of OKOA Tribunal, which was appointed by the Parliamentary Service Commission to review the terms and conditions of the service for members and staff of Parliament. To implement these recommendations, several legislative attempts have been made. So there have been several attempts to amend the Act to accommodate the OKOA recommendations, which was recommending at least a living pension of $1,000 per month. There was the Parliamentary Pensions Amendment of 2019, which the bill which lapsed in January 2019. Then there was another Parliamentary Pensions Amendment Bill 2019, sponsored by Honorable John Mbandi, was MP then, and this was rejected on 24th of September 2020 following presidential reservations. It was passed by Parliament but rejected by the President. Then there is the Parliamentary Pensions Amendment Bill by Honorable John Waluke. This is the bill in 2023 to implement 100,000 minimum pension. However, it faced opposition first from the National Treasury, which raised concerns about fiscal sustainability, and of course the SRC, which also deemed the proposal unconstitutional. The Parliamentary Service Commission recommended further consultations with stakeholders. So those three reasons made the bill not to see light of day. So in light of these concerns and presidential reservations, the Parliamentary Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning recommended the rejection of the bill in its entirety, which was done. Now, review and adjustments to ensure fair and sustainable pensions, as has been asked by the honorable member. I wish to report that National Treasury has undertaken several measures to ensure pensions remain fair, sustainable, and responsive to the rising cost of living. And these include implementation of the Pensions Increase Act, Cap 190, which since 1st July 2005, pensions have been reviewed every 2 years with an increment rate of 3% to help pensioners cope with inflation and rising living costs. Number 2 is actuarial valuation of public service pension scheme. Regular actuarial assessments are conducted every 4 years to evaluate pension liabilities, funding levels, and sustainability. The other one is a comprehensive actuarial review is currently underway to ensure the long-term financial stability of the pension system. Legal reforms to strengthen the pensions framework. The government is implementing legal reforms to align public service pensions with our constitution and recently formulated national retirement benefits policy. These reforms seek to create a more equitable, transparent, and robust pension system while ensuring fiscal sustainability. Number C, the policy measures to align pensions with economic conditions. Honorable Speaker, to protect pensioners from economic shocks and inflation, the government has implemented the following key policy measures. One, we have increased tax exemptions on pension contributions from 240,000 per annum to 360,000 shillings per annum. What that simply means is that previously, before December 27th, when we passed the Tax Laws Amendment Bill, every month, pension up to 20,000 shillings per month or 200,000 per annum was exempt from tax if you contributed to a pension scheme. Now that has gone up to 30,000 shillings per month. This adjustment not only helps mitigate the effects of inflation, but also increase employees' disposable income, reduce payee liabilities, and promotes a stronger savings culture. This is one of the provisions in the Tax Laws Amendment Bill, which is now an Act of Parliament, that was very progressive, and we encourage Kenyans to support, and fortunately it was passed. The other one is tax exemption of pension benefits. The removal of taxes on pension benefits provides retirees with a higher post-retirement income, improving their financial well-being and ensuring a more comfortable retirement. I wish to report here, Mr. Speaker, that for those who may not know, that from 27th of December last year, anyone accessing his pension is now accessing it without paying any tax. And that is like saving 30% of your entitlement. And I think it has been very progressive. Those who have benefited from the same can attest to that. And also encouraging long-term retirement savings. These tax reforms create incentives for individuals to save more for retirement, strengthening financial security in old age and reducing dependency on government support in later years. We are also strengthening post-retirement medical care. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, that we are now providing tax exemption on post-retirement medical contributions. If you are contributing to post-retirement medical scheme, you enjoy tax exemption. The other one is establishment of post-retirement medical funds. Treasury, through Circular Number 9 of 2024, authorized pension schemes to set up dedicated post-retirement medical funds, ensuring retirees have access to affordable and sustainable healthcare solutions. And Mr. Speaker, I'm sure you're aware that even Parliament is presently in the process of setting up this fund to take care of retired members of Parliament in their medical needs when they retire. And this is to all public servants. Development of an end-to-end pension administration system. The government is investing in a modernized pension administration system that leverages advanced technology to improve efficiency and scrutiny. We are also integrating blockchain and biometric technology, which will enhance the security of pension management, ensure real-time tracking of pension disbursement, and eliminate delays in pension processing. In fact, we are looking towards, in terms of integration of IFMIs for timely remittances, the system will be fully integrated with the Integrated Financial Management Information System. The aim here is to transfer retirees automatically from being employees earning a salary to retirees earning pension benefits without going through rigorous steps of processing your pension. It should be seamless. From 1 month to the next, if you retire, you should start getting your pension. And these reforms collectively strengthen retirement security, improve pension fund sustainability, and enhance post-retirement quality of life. Honorable Speaker, the National Treasury, in conclusion, remains committed to ensuring that pension benefits for former members of Parliament and all public service retirees are fair, sustainable, and responsive to economic conditions. We will continue working with stakeholders to explore feasibility solutions that uphold fiscal responsibility while ensuring retirees receive their rightful entitlements. I thank you.
Senator Wambua, you may ask your 2 supplementary questions. Honorable Senators, let us avoid speeches. Sure. In the interest of time, go straight to the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, 2 quick ones. On question number 1, I expected the CS would give us actual amounts. Actually, that was my biggest interest. With the public money being used to pay pensions, I thought he would give us the actual amount, the lowest. What amount of money is the lowest pensioner earning and the highest earning? Because that will inform his response to the benefits that they have gotten from tax exemption. Then lastly, Chair, the second question would be, seeing as it were that the CS was himself pushing this agenda when he was a member of Parliament, and now he's seated where he was pushing that agenda. Will he continue with this, or was he just playing politics? Thank you.
Honorable PS, CS rather.
Thank you. On actual amounts that these members earn, I may not have the actual figure, but I'm told the lowest is in the region of about 28,000 shillings per month. It is fairly low, and that is why there was a recommendation from the Uchumi Commission to push it up to a living pension of at least 100,000 shillings per month, or 1,000 US dollars per month. It was, I think, put in US dollar terms. But this, I want to repeat again, that you can only be able to change it if you amend the law, because the law as it is, you cannot change the actual amounts that these honorable members or former members of Parliament earn. In terms of the CS pushing the agenda, yes, I pushed the agenda as a legislator who has the powers to legislate. Now I don't have that power. That power is with members of Parliament to push for legislative amendment. I can only propose to Parliament for an amendment, but I think this is a matter that Parliament is well seized of. Parliamentary Service Commission is there, which is concerned with the welfare of members, both present and former, and if there is supposed to be any adjustment on pension entitlement to former members of Parliament, the right people to push for that would be the Parliamentary Service Commission and members of Parliament. Thank you.
Senator Fomeru, the Honorable Gathuri Murumbi. Honorable CS, just note down those questions, because I'll be calling upon a number of senators so that you can respond to them at a go.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the last time the CS was in this House, I raised a question concerning former councillors. You can see issue about the pensions and gratuity and honorarium is really recurring every time. So you tasked the 3 committees of this House, the committee, JLAC, Labour, and Budget and Finance, and the National Treasury, to sit down and come up with a legal framework to facilitate the payment of honorarium and monthly pension to former councillors. So, Mr. Speaker, the 16 days you give have lapsed. So I was, because the CS is here, I was looking at all the 3 chairs, none of them is in this House, because he is also party to this issue, whether maybe he can give a word on how far they have gone with that discussion on the legal framework, because that is what he said, that is what is lacking, so that he can release the money to the former councillors. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, my question is on policy. There is a member of parliament from Bungoma who served 4 terms. But after serving 2 terms, it was interrupted. He started enjoying his pension. Then he came back, served another 2 terms. Now when he's gone back, he's unable to enjoy pension of 4 terms. Is it the policy of the government that such a member of parliament should be denied to enjoy pension of 4 terms? Instead, he's being referred to the first 2 years, first 2 terms, Mr. Speaker.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, a quick question. I have on my phone messages to the effect from the people that send me to this house, that when will the minister stop this practice where when public servants retire, they have to spend the next year 2 to 3 years chasing their pension file at Bima House. Mr. Speaker, many of them retired teachers, doctors, public servants. I have seen from the response of the minister that they're actually inputting an integrated blockchain and biometric technology. The only thing that is missing from the minister's answer is when. That's very important for the people that vote for me to come to this house to know that when they serve the public and eventually they retire, then they will receive their pension at the next month after, because that is how modern world should work, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, that's my humble request to the minister to know when. I thank you, Speaker.
Senator John Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is not very different from what the majority leader has asked, and it particularly concerns teachers and police officers who are retired. Mr. Speaker, you will be told by the TSC, once you follow up, that the TSC has made all the necessary documentation and referred the same to Treasury. And why there are delays is because there is delayed disbursement by Treasury. And Mr. Speaker, I would want the CS to tell us what he is doing to prevent abuse of of Article 223, because that is clearly where the problem with delayed disbursements are happening, where money is set aside for a particular purpose like this for settling, for sorting out pensioners under Section 223. I mean Article 223, then such monies are drawn and taken to other use. What is the CS doing to see to it that there is no abuse of Article 223? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Miraj.
Asante Bwana Spika, swali langu halitakuwa tofauti na kiongozi wa wengi bungeni. Tuko na tatizo sawia katika sekta ya posta. Wale waliostaafu bado wanahangaika kutafuta marupurupu yao ya uzeeni. Tungependa waziri atueleze kuna shida gani wakati watu wametumia ujana wao kuitumikia serikali yetu, na wanapostaafu, wanapofika uzeeni, wanaanza tena kuhangaika kutafuta kiinua mgongo chao.
Senator Lenku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think we also have the same sentiments on the issues of KCC staff, where we have a problem that 300 million has been a problem for retirees who retired so many years ago. And the national government, the government has never paid these retirees 300 million only, and that case is National Treasury. Could the Cabinet Secretary just shed the light on that? Otherwise, they will die before the 300 million paid.
Senator Eddy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Apart from people who don't get pension, there are people, Mr. Speaker, who actually get their pensions and they get stolen. I wanted to ask the CS whether he's aware that this is a project that is going on, where pensioners, especially teachers, we have got a number of cases that there is collision with banks where their money gets up being defrauded from them. And specifically, if he's aware, what is the regulator under him doing, that is the CBK, to be able to deal with these issues in conjunction with the Treasury as well?
Honorable CS, you may respond. You have exactly 6 minutes to do so.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't know whether we will still address question number 048 because it's like we are the supplementary questions to the question.
Those that you feel will be answered through your response to question number 048, you need not respond to them now.
On the question of the team that was supposed to be put together to look at the issues of former councillors, I thought this was supposed to be Senate-driven, Parliament-driven, and I don't think we have got communication to the effect of putting our team in the team, but I think it's something that I can follow with the committee chairs, because I don't think we have made much progress on this. On the question that Senator Boni Alwale asked on policy regarding members of Parliament who serve for the 2 terms, don't win re-election, and then starts enjoying pension, and then when they come back. It is the way the law is crafted now, that once you enjoy the pension, when you come back, either you choose to pay, to buy back the pension, and then you continue, and then when now you retire, the 4 terms will become counted cumulatively, or you forfeit, or you forgo. So, but there is an amendment to that effect that is being processed, so that we can allow former members who served for some terms and have come back to enjoy seamlessly the pension without that kind of a challenge. But the way the law is today, if you start enjoying benefits of pension, like myself today, if I come back again to Parliament, then I have to either buy back that period that I enjoyed the pension, or I forgo. So that is the law as it is today. Majority Leader, I agree with you that there's been challenges in terms of when pensioners leave employment and get into pension, they wait for too long to get their pension because of system challenges, but there are also other issues around delayed payment of pension, some of which is with those agencies or ministries where they're working, where you find the processing of files become a challenge, that files are lost, members move from one office to the other. We have even had cases reported of corruption getting into the system, and that is why we want to integrate the system. We want to automate the system. When you leave system to manual, there is bound to be abused, and that is what the ministry is taking steps to ensure that that is dealt with. Now, I think Senator Fumuranga is asking that the abuse of Article 223 is the one that is denying pensioners money or reallocation of pension fund. I am not aware of any pension allocation that has ever been reallocated in any way. Actually, if there is any particular location that is always ring-fenced, it is the pension, it is the CFS going to pension. So that is not correct. Yes, there could be abuse of Article 223, which we are trying to work on, but again, you will also agree with me that that article was not provided in the Constitution in vain. The people of Kenya considered that there could be circumstances that would merit or warrant provision of additional funds that was not appropriated by Parliament or National Assembly for that matter. So if there are abuses, those abuses have to be dealt with, because this one is within the powers of the Cabinet Secretary for Finance. On the issue of poster employees and KCC, RBA has already put staff receivers in place to work out on how to pay these creditors, along which part of the creditors are former employees, because these are companies that faced challenges, especially Posta, the pension scheme for Posta. So there is already a process going on to make sure that that is addressed. Finally, on Senator Eddie Okech's question of defrauding pensioners by banks, if we automate, this automatically will be dealt with through automation. When you allow manual systems, it is open to abuse. And we have also identified that some pensioners have been defrauded through collusion, even between pension staff and also the bank staff. And that is something that we're addressing through automation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We will now move to question number 035 by the Senator for Kirinyaga County, Honorable James Murango. You may proceed to ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My questions are as follows. A, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a breakdown of all taxes and levies imposed throughout the entire tea supply chain? And B, what specific taxation measures is the Ministry planning to implement in the financial year 2025-2026 to eliminate double taxation and other unnecessary taxes that overburden farmers and stakeholders in the tea industry? And last, could the Cabinet Secretary outline the challenges faced in previous attempts to eliminate some of these excessive taxes and levies on tea and explain actions taken to address them? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may respond. Now, Honorable CS, I note that the response is fairly lengthy. In the interest of time, please just try to paraphrase it, because we have, we already have hard copies with us. We'll be following as you paraphrase.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I notice also that my response is fairly too long. I will not go through my response in the traditional way. So question number 35 by Senator James Murango was on taxes and levies imposed throughout the entire tea supply chain during Senate plenary. The first page is basically talking about the significance and importance of tea as the tea subsector as one of the drivers of economic growth in this country. We all know the contribution of tea to our economy. So I've just explained that in line with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, or better if you like. Now, in the financial year 23-24, the government implemented a number of interventions specifically for the tea subsector, which included provision of processing equipment to tea cooperatives and establishment of a tea value addition hub and promotion of investment into the hub, export market development and export promotion, and provision of fiscal incentives and establishment of warehouses for value-added tea in key development markets. So these are reforms that are ongoing. I've also indicated how much tea has been contributing to our economy. Export earnings, I've already also explained how much we are getting in terms of export earning contributed by tea subsector. So in the financial year 25-26, as outlined in our budget policy statement of 2025, the government will be executing the following key intervention to further boost the tea subsector, and that is already enumerated: value addition, market development, farmer support. So these are explanations about what the government is doing, and infrastructure, putting up infrastructure, especially like in Dongo Kundu, special economic zone, and constructing research and development facilities for tea. So coming back to the question, where I was asked to explain or provide a breakdown of all taxes and levies imposed throughout the entire tea supply chain, I want to say that tea subsector benefits from numerous tax incentives, in fact, that supports its growth and sustainability, making it a thriving subsector. So this subsector is one of the subsectors that is actually cushioned, that is actually enjoying incentives, as opposed to getting to a sector that is subjected to additional taxes. So there is no VAT. I've just explained some of the exemptions or tax incentives, especially on VAT. I have said that there is no VAT charged at this level, at the farming level for tea. There is no VAT on inputs such as fertilizers. There is no There is agricultural services are exempt from VAT. Agricultural farming tractors are exempt from VAT. I've also indicated that imported agricultural machinery used for land preparation are duty-free, but only attract VAT at 16%. Railway development levies at 2%. IDF is at 2.5% of the customs value. Tea processing, 100% investment deduction by tea factories located outside the cities of Nairobi, Mombasa, or Kisumu are also exempt. In fact, I think we should now add Eldoret and Nakuru, although there is also a thinking that we should remove this requirement at all of only cities, because cities are becoming many, and again, we feel it is unfair to the cities. Machinery used for tea processing is currently duty-free under EAC common tariff, external tariff. Income of an entity, including tea processing factories, are charged corporation tax at the rate of 30% like any other factory. Processed tea sold in the domestic market is subjected to VAT at 16%. Transportation services on unprocessed tea are exempt from VAT, and processed green tea is VAT exempt, and locally purchased tea for value addition before exportation is zero rated. Marketing and distribution. Under marketing, tea brokerage services enjoy exemption from VAT. Locally purchased tea for value addition before exportation is zero rated. So, Honorable Speaker, manufacturers of packaging materials locally for uses by exporters of locally produced goods such as tea and horticultural products import raw materials duty-free under the EAC duty remission scheme. Packaging materials of all goods, including packaging for tea, also attract 16% like any other. Imported packaging materials attract excise duty at the 25% of the excise value, but I will give the latest information about that. Various government agencies charges fees or levies for services rendered to producers or manufacturers. Now, but I want to just point out, Honorable Speaker, two things. That in the finance bill of 2025, we have done two things. Number one, we are proposing to exempt packaging materials used for tea and coffee from VAT. This exemption will only apply when packaging materials are imported or locally purchased, with a recommendation from the Cabinet Secretary responsible for agriculture, given that the use of these materials isn't exclusive to coffee and tea packaging. This measure aims to protect these crucial sectors while also safeguarding government revenue. But the second thing that we have done is under custom duty. On the custom side, Mr. Speaker, last year, Kenya was granted a stay of application of the EAC common external tariff on certain paper products to apply a higher duty rate of 25 to 35% to support domestic packaging materials. However, this negatively impacted exporters, such as the tea industry. To address this, Kenya did not request an extension of the stay of application of the EAC common external tariff on these paper products during this year's EAC pre-budget consultations, which I led in Arusha. And actually now, Mr. Speaker, I want to report that we have gone back to the EAC CET rates of 10% like any other country in the East African region. On question number 35B, what specific taxation measures is the ministry planning to implement in the financial year 25-26 to eliminate double taxation and other necessary taxes that overburden farmers and stakeholders in the tea industry? I wish to respond as follows. I would like to clarify that there is no double taxation in the tea subsector. As regards to specific tax measures for the coming financial year, we are currently reviewing submissions from the public, but we have already reviewed the submissions from the public anyway. I think this answer should be amended to read that we have already considered and have just read some of the steps that we are taking to reduce taxation, which would support the tea subsector. So I have mentioned that the various incentives. I don't want to repeat them again. I want to go straight to 35C, Mr. Speaker. Could the Cabinet Secretary outline the challenges faced in previous attempts to eliminate some of these taxes and levies on tea and explain action taken to address them? I wish to respond as follows. While there may be challenges affecting the tea subsector, Honorable Speaker, The national government continues to extend numerous incentives to the subsectors outlined above. From consultation with the regulations at tea subsector, various actions by various government entities are ongoing to address the burden of the fees or levies in the tea subsector. Some of these measures include enactment of Tea Act 2020, which reduced the management fee payable by tea factories from 2.5% to 1.5%, thus saving tea farmers approximately 1 billion annually from management fee to Kenya Tea Development Authority. There is the ad valorem levy of 1% of the customs value of exported teas, which was scrapped in 2016. The agricultural produce cess of 1% of green leaf was also scrapped in 2016, saving quite significant amount. And since July 2016, the government replaced the levy scrapped with a government grant to fund operations of Tea Research Institute and Tea Board of Kenya, which support the tea industry development programs such as research in tea, trade promotion, and market development, amongst others. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, Kenya's tea industry remains a vital pillar of our economy, supporting millions of livelihoods and contributing significantly to national development. Through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the government is committed to strengthening the tea value chain to ensure sustainable growth. I thank you.
Honorable Senator James Morango, you may ask your 2 supplementary questions.
Asante sana, Mstahiki Speaker. Mstahiki Speaker, swali langu la kwanza zilikuwa kwa takwimu waziri aweze kupeana zile anda na kondi zote ambazo zinalipwa na wakulima majani chai. Mstahiki Speaker, nimeona amejibu na kusema venye serikali inafanya ambayo ni sawa, lakini jibu langu hakujibu. Mstahiki Speaker, kulingana na nakala niko nazo, mkulima majani chai kutoka bunge la kitaifa, kutoka serikali kuu mpaka zile za ugatuzi, analipa anda na kulipa kondi tofauti 42. Na nilipokuwa mwenyekiti wa kamati ya ukulima, tulikuwa tumekaa chini na kuwa tumeelewana kwamba serikali itajaribu kupunguza hizi. Lakini kwa sababu ambazo sijaelewa, waziri hakuziweka wazi. Kwa hivyo ningetaka kusema, Mheshimiwa Speaker, kwa swali hilo sikuridhika na majibu ambayo waziri amepeana siku ya leo. Kwa sababu, Mstahiki Speaker, nilikuwa natarajia kama ni taasisi ama halmashauri ya kuokota kondi, inaokota kondi zaidi ya 5 hapa. Ukiangalia halmashauri ya Nema ina kondi inaokota. Ukiangalia kama ni taasisi hapa kuna kondi inaokota. Ili tuweze Mstahiki Speaker, kujibu swali na kuendelea mbele, ningeomba waziri anapoenda anijibu hili swali ili niweze kusema na asema. Swali la pili, Mstahiki Speaker, ni kwamba katika bunge la kitaifa kuna nakala ambazo waziri aliweza kupeleka pale mwaka huu, ambayo ilikuwa ina kondi mpya ambazo zilikuwa zinafaa pia kutozwa wakulima kahawa. Mstahiki Speaker, hiyo sheria bado iko katika bunge la kitaifa na niko na nakala hapa ambayo iliwekwa katika gazeti la serikali. Ningetaka kuuliza waziri, kilimo cha msingi kitawekwa kondi mpaka lini? Kwa sababu nchi zinazoendelea kilimo cha msingi hakiwekangwi kondi na anda ili mkulima aweze kunufaika na mazao yake. Asante sana, Mstahiki Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond.
Mr. Speaker, I tried to put together some of the taxes that are and levies that are put or charged on tea, right from the farming level. I put a paragraph. The tea processing, I put a paragraph. Marketing and distribution, I also put a paragraph. If the honorable member has any other levies that need not to be there, I think the best thing to do is to recommend for those levies to be removed. But as far as I'm concerned, I have enumerated what I am aware of are taxes and levies on tea. I think he has talked about some amendment that is in Parliament to put some charges on coffee. Yes. Maybe your Honorable Speaker, with your permission, he can explain again. He can come and repeat the question again.
Mstahiki Speaker, ukinipa nafasi nitamwonyesha waziri.
Honorable CS, if you need time to acquaint yourself with that particular document, you may say so.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'm trying to check because my understanding was that we were reducing those rates. And so it's just demonstrated to me the rates that are on the first schedule and the second schedule. My understanding is that those rates were coming down. But if they are going up, I may need to check and address that. But I am almost certain that the rates were higher than what is being provided. And so what we were trying to do is to reduce the rates to make coffee more competitive, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, in line with the question by the Senator for Kirinyaga on measures to reduce double taxation, unnecessary taxes, and overburdening of farmers and Kenyans in general, I would like the CS to address one question. Honorable Speaker, we have heard the ministry, actually the CS himself, taking credit that this year's finance bill has no new taxes. But I know it's credit to the Gen Z who have struck the fear of God in this government. They will not attempt to bring new taxes. What are you doing about existing taxation, Cabinet Secretary, that you found, including the housing levy, the increase in pay, and VAT on fuel, that has seen the cost of taxes on a liter of petrol exceeding the cost of the product? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mofai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is a supplementary question. Says Treasury. Honorable Speaker, this country has witnessed for decades some grievous disparities in distribution of developments across the country. Talk of roads, talk of water, talk of industries and so forth. So as the minister in charge of the national granary, is there any written policy that is supposed to guide you on how you are supposed to distribute the national developments? And I'm asking this, Honorable Speaker, on behalf of very many Kenyans. You find some areas have been neglected for decades. Other areas are endowed with better roads, water, and so forth and so forth. Is there any existing policy, for that matter, that a Kenyan can quote maybe from Tharaka or from Northeastern or from any other part of this country where there are no such kind of developments? What is it, what criteria do you use to determine where you are supposed to put up roads, where you are supposed to put up water, and so forth and so forth? Is there any existing policy for that matter? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may, if in a position to respond to that question, you may, because it is not related to the primary question. The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I have a question to the Cabinet Secretary in regards to his response on page 6. Unfortunately, Minister, I'll have to tell you that none of these items that you have listed was done to the tea farmers. This is a topic very close to my heart, and therefore I know every single intervention that is done. In the fiscal year that you're referring to, 2023-2024, you have quoted in your response, Mr. Minister, that there was provision of processing equipments to tea cooperatives. It is now in this financial year that there's an attempt to put 3.5 billion shillings to support aging tea factories. And even that, I'm not sure whether the National Assembly Budget Committee will maintain it. So I'll have the minister check with his records and the people in the ministry whether any of this has been done, because to the best of my knowledge, there is no tea cooperative that was supported with this. With regards to establishment of this, what is calling tea value addition hub, construction is yet to begin of the common user facility that the government promised tea farmers in the country. And therefore it will be important for the minister to let us know when construction of this common user facility will commence. There was a promise of 1 billion shillings to KTDA through its subsidiary KTEPA that this was going to be set up in Kericho. I do not know to this date, Mr. Speaker, when that facility will be available for farmers. The same can be said, Mr. Speaker, about Part C of his question, because it needs to be quantifiable. If the minister had given us the specific figure of how much that export market development the government committed to, we'd appreciate. because it is one of the interventions that we seriously need. Lastly, Speaker, just a comment to the Minister, because you know we are representatives of people, and when there's an opportunity, I appreciate that transportation of tea to factories is VAT exempted. I do not understand, Mr. Minister, why in every finance bill, last year it had to be removed, and even in this year's proposal, transportation of sugarcane to factories is subject to VAT. I don't know why at Treasury they want to treat tea farmers and sugarcane farmers separately, yet they are all citizens of this republic. So while I appreciate what is done for tea farmers, I'd wish that the Treasury does the same for sugarcane farmers as well. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll try to be fast. Yes, it is true that we have not made major changes in taxes that would disadvantage the taxpayer or individual taxpayers in terms of reducing their disposable income. And this was a commitment. Yes, I know Senator Sifuna is attributing it exclusively to Gen Z. Partly true, partly not true. Honorable Senator Sifuna very well knows my stand on taxes. Even before I joined the cabinet or the executive, I am one person who does not believe that higher taxes would lead to more revenue or higher tax rates. And that is my stand. I've spoken about it. Maybe we share that idea with Gen Zs, but so it cannot be exclusively the Gen Z's ideas. And I think the government is also sold into the idea that now, where we have reached, we cannot go further to reduce disposable income. On housing levy, I think there is a discussion around seeing how to restructure it, because again, it has serious benefits, in my view. Quite a number of projects are coming up, but at the same time, the individual employees, those with pay slips, have complaints, which you cannot ignore. So a lot of restructuring is going on, and I am sure that more pronouncements will come in due course. On the issue of pay, again, also we are looking, actually this financial year, when we were preparing the finance bill, we even did some simulation on how to reduce the pay as you earn. But what stopped us from implementing it with this finance bill, and I think we are going to consider it in the next finance bill, alongside the reduction of corporation tax or corporate tax from 30% to 28%, we considered reducing to 28%, was the failure by KRA to meet its revenue targets. And so we thought that as we carry along with the reforms at the KRA, we should not be doing too many things at the same time. First, let us see what the reforms at KRA in terms of automation and in terms of making it efficient is yielding to us. Then we can now move to the next step of reducing the tax rates to increase disposable income. But it is an idea that I support, Senator Sifuna. And that also goes to the heart of fuel levy or road maintenance levy. On distribution of development across the country, yes, Senator, it is true, Mr. Speaker, that over the years since independence, that we have not been very fair and objective as a country in terms of distributing or budgetary allocations to regions. And this is what has brought the tension that we have in the country, where people believe that for you to get development, then your people should be the ones in power. And I think devolution was meant to cure this, but it's still at the same time, still it has not been fully cured. We are trying, and it is not something that you are going to do in a day, to try as much as possible to be equitable in the distribution of resources. And I think the budget that we have produced addresses it to some extent. It has not fixed it, but addresses it. Take, for example, and I've given this example, that since independence, the children in Tana River have been eaten by crocodiles as they crossed River Tana going to school. For bridges, one bridge costing just 100 million, yet you find many of us have tarmac roads up to our homes. It is not fair. So many of us have tarmac roads up to our homes. So many of us have tie-piped water in their houses, even in rural areas. Yet, Tana River, those children, for just 100 million, have been eaten by crocodile. That is, we cannot live in such a country of iniquity. So, inequitable resource distribution. Remember, for the first time, I want to say here, Dadaab constituency, for example, is going to see
30 seconds more.
The first tarmac road. And I can go on and on. You see the first major road in northern Kenya being under construction since independence, from all the way from Meru, Isiolo, going to Garissa, Wajir, all the way to Mandera. 740 kilometers being done in this government to enhance equity. Now, the majority leader talked about, I can just answer the majority leader by saying that I am going to follow through some of these initiatives, including the support to tea cooperatives, common user facility and all that. We have put some allocation in the budget. I hope they will not be taken away by the National Assembly. And then I will make sure that the monies are released or the exchequer is released to support the tea sector. Thank you very much.
We now move to question number 048 by the Senator for Kisumu, Honorable Tom Ojenda. You may proceed to ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I'm very much aware that you are constrained by time, but you know, Mr. Speaker, when members are asking questions not related to the subject matter, as we come from areas that you know the best in the world, and under question to the CS, but when now we start digressing and we don't ask the prime questions, Mr. Speaker, then some of us will be lost. So, Mr. Speaker, can you give me a latitude just to ask him one question? So that...
Honorable Senators, this is not for me to tell you. The standing orders are very clear. On, if you read Standing Order 51C, 7A and B, it's very clear that one, you need to ask one question, and that one question must be related to the primary question. Now, if you take to the floor and give us a speech, time doesn't stop running. For those who feel they have more questions to ask the CS on this particular subject, you can always post that question, and we'll invite the CS to come back. This should not be the end of responding to questions related to taxes on agricultural produce. Senator Tom Ojenda, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question number 48 goes to the CS Treasury, CS John Mbandi. It's in three parts. Four parts. The first part, what immediate measures are being implemented by the government to address the extensive days in processing pension claims for retired civil servants of various levels, Mr. Speaker? And could the Cabinet Secretary provide a timeline for full digitization of pension records and transition to an end-to-end enterprise resource planning ERP system for a more streamlined process? That's part one of the question. Mr. Speaker, part two is on the processing of pension and the pervasive corruption claims. How is the ministry addressing the pervasive corruption and bribery within the pensions department, including claims of pension payment to non-existent or ghost pensioners? Part three, Mr. Speaker, what is being done to ensure that pension funds, which have persistently faced significant carryovers due to underfunding and liquidity challenges, are prioritized and allocated adequate funding in future budgets? And lastly, Mr. Speaker, part D, could the CS Treasury explain why any proposed regulatory reforms aimed at harmonizing outdated pension laws with contemporary digital financial management practices Thank you, Mr. Speaker. These questions are born out of the delays in payment to pensioners. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond. Now we have 15 minutes. Those 15 minutes to be utilized by the CS in responding to the question, and also to be utilized by honorable senators in asking supplementary questions. Now, honorable CS, your response is fairly lengthy. Please paraphrase it to allow honorable senators time to interact with your response.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I'll take 3 minutes just to go through the response. I'll not read it verbatim. Measures being implemented to address delays in pension processing and the transition to a digitized pension system. A number of steps we are taking for comprehensive review. One is timely submission of retirement notices. Employers are required to notify employees of retirement at least 1 year in advance, and to submit pension claims to the pension department 9 months before the official retirement age. Number 2, verification and documentation. Pension payments are contingent on complete and accurate documentation from retirees and employers. Incomplete submission, disputes, or litigation. Number 3 is processing at the pension department. Once a complete pension claim is received, the department processes it within 90 days, as stipulated in the National Treasury Citizens Service Delivery Charter. Then we have exchequer releases, which is also another challenge. Payment of pension gratuities depends on the availability of funds, which is influenced by national revenue inflows. So to improve efficiency, these are the measures that we have taken. One is deployment of pension officers to key MDS. So we have made sure that key MDS, like TSC and others, have pension officers. The National Treasury has deployed 18 pension officers to the Teacher Service Commission, for example, to expedite the verification and submission of the pension claims. Number 2, strict enforcement of early submission policies. MDAs are mandated to submit pension claims 9 months before an officer's retirement date. Number 3, system enhancements and technical support. That is, pensions management information system is undergoing significant upgrades to reduce manual interventions and improve efficiency, and also enhance data security. Review of the pension legal framework is also being undertaken to align with emerging needs and improve the sustainability and efficiency of pension payments. National Retirement Benefits Policy. The Cabinet has approved the National Retirement Benefits Policy, which was approved on 3rd November 2023. This policy aims to harmonize retirement benefits, improve governance, and enhance sector growth. Public awareness and sensitization is also ongoing, is also being conducted, workshops being conducted, and sensitization programs on retirement. Recruitment of additional pension officers